My father moved to this country because he wanted the American dream, and part of that American dream was owning real estate. It was owning your own land. It was being able to feel like you could control your own destiny. And yet we live in a world today where, like, the popular message, all the cool kids are saying, oh my gosh, rent is so cool. Why would you ever want to own something? And we are moving into what's called a renter nation. America and the people running it want you to rent forever.
Believe that rents will continue to go even higher.
I think rents will flatten. I think rents flatten for the next 2 years. 24, 25, you'll have flat rents. And then in 26, because they're not going to build anything, they'll stop all building, all construction. This happened again in 2008, 9, and 10. 40 million homes that nobody wants because they're old homes. They're your mom's and grandma's house. Nobody wants to move into them. In 26, 27, rents will explode in this country. $1,900 rent that people are complaining about will be $4,000.
There's a lot of predictions out there about what's going to happen over the next decade. Statistically, over the next 10 years, we're going to see 70% of America own homes and see that drop to 60%. And in this video, we're going to talk about who's buying up those homes, why do they want to control it, and why do they want to keep you from owning this real estate? Quote, in your lifetime, you will see mortgages go from 30 to 40 and 50 and maybe even 60 years. You could, if you live long enough, see a 100-year mortgage in America. America will become a renter nation. You will rent your cars, you will rent where you live, you may even rent your clothes in the future. Grant Cardone said this. Now, the reason why this is terrifying is because if you take a look at modern day America right now, the average 65-year-old, guess, do they have more money in their retirement or more money in their home equity when they're 65? The answer, they actually have more money in their home equity. In fact, in 2024, the average person with a home has an average of $299,000 of equity. And yet their average retirement at 65, $254,000. Which basically means if we can stamp it out of people to own homes, they're going to lose more than half of their net worth come retirement, and they already don't have enough money. Let's talk about the REITs. Let's talk about the hedge funds that are now deploying. I've added up from all of the major ones, $54 billion going out the door where they're just basically buying up single family homes. In fact, I have markets that I can't buy real estate in because they'll gobble up whatever is on the market, not at its market value, but at 120 and 130% of its market value. They're making it so hard to compete because they're willing to pay above asking price. And you gotta be asking yourself, why would they do that? And I'm here to give you the answer. You see, we are already missing 7.2 million homes in this country. And over the next decade, we will not catch up from that missing supply. And yet the demand is there. So what's gonna happen to the price of real estate year over year over year? That we don't have that inventory in place, the prices are gonna keep going up. Rents are going to keep going up, and real estate is going to become less and less affordable. Now you might be wondering, okay, Kris, is it too late? Like, is it hopeless? Can I still buy real estate? And the reality is you do need to be more strategic. You do need to be more intentional. And there's banks out there lending. There's still tools available to you where you can get in on real estate, but it is true that you're going to have a more savvy financial game plan, because where I live, for example, here in Utah, a first-time home that someone buys might now cost $300,000 or $400,000 when only a handful of years ago, that same house was selling for under $250,000. Literally, income is not keeping up with the pace of housing affordability, and it hasn't ever. It's only going to get worse. Now, I'm not saying, by the way, that you have to like move out of state to like buy real estate in a certain market, although there are definitely some people that are doing that. What you do need is help from an expert or a professional that can help you either navigate your own market, or more importantly, you may remain a renter, but choose to start owning real estate in advantageous places, not for the benefits of personal homeownership, but for actually the benefits of owning real estate. Since 2003, I've been helping people build real estate portfolios. And so over the last 20 plus years, I've been watching the trends. When 2008 hit, the media said it was the worst time to be in real estate. It was actually the best time. Within 5 years of buying up, gobbling up all that real estate, I helped my investors make over $100 million. And even right now with the pandemic that we experienced a few years ago and where we're at with mortgage interest rates today and falling, this is actually one of the most prime times to be buying real estate. Or let me ask you, if you knew that whatever real estate you bought might go up $100,000 or $200,000 in the next 5 years, how much of it would you buy? Because what if for every house you bought, you added $100,000 to your net worth? Well, becoming a small real estate investor that strategically learns how to own 10 homes makes you then a millionaire. So here's what's interesting in a lot of the research that's coming out. They're finding that people in general don't want to feel tied down. Ownership is actually scary to them. They prefer flexibility. They want to be able to travel, and they don't want to have to worry about these liabilities that they're leaving behind. There are some stats in particular that should terrify you. Check these out. The first typical home buyer was 36 years old in 2022, according to the NAR, while the typical repeat buyer age rose to a record high of 59 years old. That basically means that people are buying real estate later in life instead of earlier, either because it's too expensive, or they're not feeling ready, or they just don't want it. 14% of home buyers purchased a multi-generational home with considerations for caring for aging parents, young adult children that might be moving back for cost savings. In other words, household formation is definitely altering the dynamic of the kind of real estate that we want to own, because people are basically saying, my kids may never own a home, so my home might need to be big enough for them, or maybe for my aging parents. Fourth quarter 2022 homeownership rates were highest for homeowners aged 65 years and over, 79%, and lowest for homeowners under 35 years of age, 38.7%. 56% of millennial homeowners have some regret about purchasing their homes, with maintenance and hidden costs being the biggest culprits. In other words, they're doing what society says. They bought the home, and more than half of them are saying, I kind of wish I didn't do this because it needs money. Maybe it's a money pit. Maybe I didn't know that I was going to have these extra fees, or that I was going to have to pay annual taxes. Shoot, this was a bigger choice than I actually thought. I wasn't prepared for this. And 24% of Gen Z and 11% of millennials say that they are living rent-free, meaning they live with their parents and other friends and other family. And so it's becoming more and more trendy for people to turn a blind eye to home ownership. Now, the reason why this concerns me so much is because the asset of real estate is going to do more for you categorically than anywhere else. So it's going to be bigger than your 401k and your IRA combined. If you put money in the stock market, same thing. In other words, when you get to retirement, you're 65 years old, you're reviewing your assets, and you're thinking, oh no, I only saved $200,000-$300,000 for retirement, and that's only a couple years worth of living. I'm gonna have to cut my money back. But at the same time, they're looking at their home equity, which is greater than what they save for retirement, and that's when it dawns on them, man, if I had just bought like 4 more homes, I would be a millionaire. If I had bought 10 homes, I would be a multimillionaire. Yeah, I need to keep one of these homes to live in, but what if I sold the other 9 and had a couple $1,000,000? A renter nation that is discouraging you from exercising your most basic human right in this country of owning real estate is literally being turned off right now by the powers that be, and you've got to do something about it. And no, I'm not just talking about buying a home for you and your family to live in. I'm talking about the fact that the greatest wealth generation, like 90% of all millionaires, they did that through the game of real estate, literally just acquiring homes. And so if we're discouraged from doing that, we're basically allowing ourselves to become more like the lemmings that are running over a cliff to our death without even knowing it, instead of owning and manifesting our own financial destiny. Renting can feel nice, but ownership gives you legitimate power. Homeownership tends to be associated with greater wealth accumulation, and according to the U.S. Federal Reserve Survey of Consumer Finances, the median net worth of homeowner households was around 80 times higher than those of renter households. In other words, the type of person that wants to own a home and the level of responsibility that they take and shoulder to do that is also the kind of person that accumulates and builds wealth. People that move into that renter status and that renter mindset, they stop caring about building assets. If you're vibing with me and you understand the importance of this message and you're thinking, shoot, I wish I had someone to strategize with that could help me like get an updated game plan for my financial future, I'm offering you that financial game plan today for free. Literally in the link below, drop your contact information, let me reach out to you, speak with certified members of my team, and let's create that custom game plan. It's literally as if I'm talking to you, putting myself in your shoes and saying, all right, if I woke up today as you, what would I do to become a millionaire as fast as possible? And it's not even that I want you to be a millionaire, it's that I want you to have freedom and I want you to have choices that you can exercise to live life on your terms. I'm telling you right now, if you financially feel behind or that you're getting into the trap of not building wealth, click that link, connect with my team, and let us inspire you with all the different options that you actually have to build wealth now before it's too late and someone else takes that away from you. Okay, Kris, I actually own a house and have a plan of when I'm gonna pay it off. And I'm like, oh, that may actually financially hurt you. And I know what you're thinking, Kris, how can paying off my house hurt me? Well, if you wanna know, watch this video right here. It's called Opportunity Cost, and I promise you're missing out on some huge opportunities by having your only focus on getting out of debt. Click right here, let me share.